The vision boards, the affirmations, the endless lists of goals taped to your mirror. You've repeated phrases into the night until your voice went hoarse, waiting for the universe to reward your persistence. You've hustled, pushed, monitored, and prayed. And yet, the reality staring back at you still feels unchanged, unmoved, untouched. It's easy in those moments to believe that maybe something is broken inside of you. Maybe you're not worthy, not chosen, not powerful enough to bend life to your will. That ache in your chest whispers, "What if I'm doing it wrong? What if it never works for me?" I want you to pause here, take a breath, and soften that thought. Because the truth is far simpler and far stranger than you've ever been told. Reality is not a machine you command with words. It is not a vending slot where you insert effort and wait for your order to appear. Reality is a mirror, and it doesn't reflect what you shout at it. It reflects what you quietly, unconsciously embody. Think of a mirror in front of you. No matter how passionately you plead with it, the reflection does not change. If you frown, it frowns back. If you smile, it smiles with you. But if you beg it to smile while your own face is still set in worry, nothing happens. The mirror is not cruel. It is simply exact. And so is life. This video is not about teaching you another technique to push harder, visualize stronger, or fight with yourself more. It is about turning you inward, to show you that the only shift that creates a new reflection is the shift within you. When your nervous system feels safe, your body signals coherence. When your identity shifts, the field shifts. And when you stop efforting for change and begin becoming the change, the mirror of reality cannot help but respond. By the end of this journey together, you'll see why nothing outside of you can change until you do. And importantly, you'll know how to step into the self that reality is waiting to echo back. Reality feels complicated when you're inside it, doesn't it? Bills to pay, relationships to maintain, careers to build, emotions to manage. It feels like an endless chessboard where the next move determines whether you succeed or fall behind. And yet, the deeper truth is profoundly simple. Reality is not a machine that responds to your commands. It is a mirror, reflecting back not what you demand, but what you already are. This is where so many seekers get lost. They believe manifestation is about controlling the outside world, scripting, affirming, chanting, demanding. But if you've ever stood in front of a mirror, you already know the futility of that approach. You cannot scream at a mirror to make it show you thinner, richer, or happier. You cannot tape pictures to it and expect your reflection to morph. The mirror only knows one rule: reflect what is. And this is the heartbreak of so many manifestors. They work tirelessly to polish the glass, to decorate the frame, to speak new words at it. But inside, their posture, their energy, their nervous system still brims with fear, doubt, or unworthiness. And the mirror reflects it all, exactly as it is, without judgment. Here is the first radical shift I want you to hold. The universe is not withholding from you. It is not punishing you, ignoring you, or waiting until you've earned enough good karma points. It is simply reflecting back the version of you that you've most consistently embodied. The field is precise, not cruel. Think of it like light. If you stand under red glass, the world looks red. If you shift the glass to blue, the same light reveals a completely different tone. Reality is the same. The light never changes. It only reveals through the filter you're carrying. And your filter is your identity, your embodied your subconscious lens. This is why affirmations often feel empty. If you whisper, "I am abundant," while your body contracts with fear about rent due tomorrow, the mirror does not obey the words. It reflects the contraction. If you paste smiling couples on your wall but secretly brace against rejection every time you walk into a room, the mirror does not gift you partnership. It reflects the bracing. Painful? Yes, but also liberating. Because it means you are never at the mercy of luck, destiny, or some cosmic scorecard. The mirror is immediate, alive, intimate, and the moment you shift inwardly, the reflection cannot help but alter. The ego resists this. It insists, if reality is a mirror, then I must change first. But changing feels like losing control. The ego fears surrender. It fears letting go of the old survival patterns that once kept you safe. But those very patterns, vigilance, effort, micromanaging, are the smudges on the glass. They blur the reflection, not because the mirror is broken, but because you are holding on to an outdated version of yourself. So ask yourself this: what reflection has reality been offering you lately? Not what you wished, not what you wrote down, but what you see when you step back honestly. That is the imprint of your current state. And the beauty is, it is not final. Mirrors shift the moment you shift. In the next chapter, we'll dive deeper into how the quantum field operates as this mirror, why coherence and frequency matter more than affirmations or effort, and how your body, your nervous system, your very breath are broadcasting to the universe with exquisite precision. Because until you understand how the mirror really works, you'll keep exhausting yourself trying to command a reflection instead of simply becoming the presence it reflects. If reality is a mirror, then the question becomes, what is it really reflecting? Where does the reflection come from? To answer this, we need to look deeper than ordinary cause and effect logic. We need to step into the language of the quantum field. Science tells us that beneath everything solid and visible, there are particles, or more accurately, possibilities, moving, vibrating, existing as waves until they are observed. At the subatomic level, nothing is fixed until consciousness interacts with it. This is the famous observer effect. The moment awareness focuses, the wave collapses into a particle. In simpler terms, reality waits for you to show it how to appear. Now here's the part most people miss. The field is not responding to your conscious words alone. It is responding to your entire signal, the sum total of your thoughts, emotions, nervous system state, and identity. You cannot trick it with language while carrying the opposite vibration inside. The field does not listen to what you say. It listens to what you are. Think of yourself as a broadcasting tower. Every moment, you are radiating a frequency, not just through your brain, but through your breath, your heartbeat, your posture, the subtle cues your body gives off even when you're silent. That frequency is read by the field, and the field mirrors it back as lived circumstances. This is why effort often backfires. The harder you try to make reality change, the more you reinforce the signal of lack. I do not have this yet, and I'm desperate to create it. The field does not respond to the picture on your vision board. It responds to the feeling in your body when you look at that picture. If the feeling is longing, anxiety, or distance, the field mirrors more longing, more waiting, more distance. Here's the paradox. When you stop chasing, stop bracing, and drop into coherence, when your thoughts, emotions, and body are aligned in a state of safety and presence, reality responds as if the thing you desire is already here, because in that state, you are the vibration of already having, and the field mirrors it back faithfully. Consider this. A person who deeply embodies abundance does not walk into a room scanning for proof of wealth. They carry a relaxed presence, a subtle openness, a trust that their needs are met. That signal is undeniable, even without words. Others feel it. Opportunities align with it. Reality bends to it. Contrast that with someone who says affirmations about being abundant, yet clenches their jaw every time they swipe their credit card. Which frequency do you think the field mirrors? Always the embodied one. The beauty of the quantum mirror is that it is not linear. Change doesn't have to take years of grinding. Because the field responds in the now, the moment you regulate your nervous system and embody a new state, you begin to send out a different signal. And because the signal is different, the reflection cannot stay the same. This is why so many people report miracles when they finally let go. The job offer appears the moment they stop obsessing. The relationship shows up the week they stop searching. The healing accelerates when they stop bracing for it. To the logical mind, this feels like magic. But to the quantum field, it is simply coherence being mirrored. Here's another way to imagine it. Think of life as a hall of mirrors at a carnival. Each mirror reflects a slightly different version of you. Taller, shorter, distorted, clear. When your frequency shifts, it's as if you step into a different mirror altogether. The outside world looks transformed, but in truth, it is reflecting the new alignment you carry within. And here is the key truth. The field is neutral. It does not reward or punish. It does not have favorites. It only reflects. The same principle works whether you are broadcasting fear or broadcasting trust. This is not personal. It is simply physics of energy and consciousness. And once you understand this, you are no longer a victim of circumstance. You are the one adjusting the signal. So let this sink in. The universe is not ignoring you. It is obeying you with perfect precision. But it is obeying the signal beneath the surface, the one most of us forget we are transmitting. In the next section, we'll explore why that signal is so often scrambled, how unresolved trauma, stored fear, and nervous system survival states send mixed messages into the field. Because once you see how your inner broadcast has been distorted, you will finally understand why your affirmations and desires haven't seemed to stick. The mirror is perfect. The question is, what are you actually reflecting? If the quantum field is mirroring your frequency, then the next question is obvious. Why would any of us ever broadcast fear, scarcity, or self-sabotage on purpose? Why would we send out a signal that creates struggle when what we want is freedom, love, and ease? The answer is simple, but not easy. Trauma. Most of your broadcast is unconscious. It lives not in your words, but in the hidden programming of your body and nervous system. Every experience you've ever had, especially the painful ones you couldn't fully process, leaves behind an imprint, a tightening, a contraction, a bracing against the world. Over time, those imprints become part of your default signal. You stop consciously choosing them, yet they shape what reality reflects back to you. Imagine a child who grows up constantly criticized. Even if, as an adult, they say affirmations like, "I am worthy," "I am loved," their body may still flinch when someone looks at them too closely. That flinch, that micro-signal of "I'm not safe here," becomes the true frequency broadcast. And the mirror responds, over and over, with situations that reinforce the old wound. This is the cruel loop of trauma. The wound broadcasts a distorted signal, the field mirrors it back, and the person interprets that as confirmation of the wound. See? I really am unworthy. I really can't trust. I really will always be abandoned. The cycle tightens, not because reality is punishing them, but because the mirror is neutral. Here's the compassionate truth. It isn't your fault that you carry these broadcasts. Trauma wasn't something you chose. It happened to you in moments when your system was overwhelmed. Your body did what it had to do to keep you safe. It stored the shock, the fear, the grief, and it tightened around it like armor. That armor may have saved you once, but today, it is sending signals that no longer serve. You can think of it like static in a radio transmission. Your conscious mind is broadcasting one station: abundance, love, possibility. But the unconscious static of unresolved trauma is jamming the frequency. What comes through the speakers is garbled, inconsistent, confusing. And the field reflects exactly that. Mixed results, half manifestations, progress that slips away. This is why you can spend years visualizing, chanting, or scripting without lasting change. Until the trauma signals are acknowledged, soothed, and integrated, they will keep leaking into the broadcast, and the mirror has no choice but to show you what you are unconsciously carrying. But here's the hope. Trauma is not destiny. The body is not broken. The nervous system is not fixed in stone. Healing is possible, not by forcing yourself to think positively, but by gently teaching your body that it is safe now. When you breathe into your chest and feel the armor soften, when you allow the tears you once swallowed to finally flow, when you shake out the fear your body once froze, in those moments, the broadcast changes. It becomes clearer, truer, more coherent, and the mirror responds immediately. Have you ever noticed that when you resolve an old fear, life suddenly rearranges around you? The partner who once triggered your abandonment wound suddenly feels easier to trust. The opportunity that seemed blocked suddenly opens. This isn't coincidence. It is the field reflecting your updated broadcast. Think of it like upgrading a Wi-Fi signal. For years, you were streaming reality through a glitchy, outdated router, full of buffering, disconnections, frustrations. Then one day, you upgrade the system. The signal becomes strong, clear, uninterrupted. The content streaming through hasn't changed. The universe was always abundant, but now your receiver can finally hold it. This is why healing your nervous system is the deepest form of manifestation. It isn't about becoming high vibe or bypassing your wounds with positive thinking. It is about letting your body complete what it couldn't finish in the past, so that it no longer has to keep sending out fear signals today. So pause for a moment and ask yourself gently, what has your body been broadcasting without your permission? Do you feel your shoulders tighten when you think about money? Do you notice your chest collapse when you picture love? Do you brace unconsciously for disappointment every time you imagine success? These are the hidden signals shaping your reality. And the beautiful part is, once you bring awareness to them, they can change. Because awareness itself is healing. The moment you stop fighting our unconscious patterns and instead meet them with compassion, you begin to rewrite the signal. The mirror cannot help but adjust. In the next section, we'll explore how this rewiring happens, how coherence between mind, body, and energy creates the purest, most powerful broadcast you can imagine. Because once your signal is whole, reality reflects it with a clarity that feels like magic, but is simply alignment. There comes a moment in every seeker's journey when exhaustion sets in. You've tried to think your way into new outcomes. You've tried to wrestle your mind into optimism. You've tried controlling every detail as if reality were a stubborn machine that needed constant supervision. And yet, the mirror doesn't change. This is where coherence becomes the key. Coherence is not force. It is not effort. It is not another round of mental gymnastics. Coherence is the state where your mind, body, and energy stop fighting one another and finally begin to move as one. Imagine the difference between an orchestra warming up, each instrument tuning loudly, chaotically, without listening, and the same orchestra playing in perfect harmony. The first is noisy, restless, and scattered. The second is breathtaking, powerful, magnetic. The music doesn't just sound different, it feels different in your chest. Your life works the same way. When your thoughts want abundance but your nervous system is braced for loss, there is static. When you say you believe in love but your body still carries the flinch of abandonment, the signal is fractured. Coherence is what happens when your intention, your emotions, and your embodied state finally play the same song. And the mirror, reality itself, can only reflect that harmony back. But how do you reach coherence? Not by straining harder, but by softening. It begins with the breath. The breath is the language of the nervous system, and every inhale is an invitation to safety. When you breathe slowly, fully, as if there is no rush, your body receives the message. We are safe now. And in safety, the old static of survival begins to fade. Picture a time in your own life when letting go created an unexpected opening. Maybe you stopped chasing someone who didn't see you, and the right connection arrived effortlessly. Maybe you stopped micromanaging a dream, and the opportunity seemed to appear out of nowhere. That wasn't luck. It was coherence. The moment your inner state aligned so cleanly that reality mirrored it instantly. This path is not about perfecting your thoughts or erasing your shadows. It is about choosing presence over control, about feeling into the body you're in and giving it permission to exhale. The truth is, the quantum field doesn't need convincing. It only needs a clear, steady signal, and clarity comes not from effort, but from coherence. So take this in. The universe is not ignoring you. Your mirror is not broken. Your broadcast has simply been scattered, and the way forward is breathtakingly gentle, a return to wholeness within yourself. As we move deeper into this journey, we'll explore how coherence shows up in the lives of others, in real stories where surrender changed everything. Because nothing illustrates the power of coherence like witnessing it lived. Sometimes the most powerful proof is not found in theories, but in the quiet, lived moments where coherence reshaped a life. Let's bring this down from the mystical to the deeply human, because it's in our own stories that the mirror shows itself most clearly. There was a woman who had been trying to manifest love for years. Her journals were filled with affirmations. I am worthy of love. I attract my soulmate. She visualized, she lit candles, she made lists. And yet, relationship after relationship seemed to crumble, leaving her with the same hollow ache. It wasn't until she stopped chasing that everything shifted. She began practicing simple coherence, breath work before dates, moments of pausing and hand to heart when her old fears flared. She stopped trying to convince the universe and instead practiced feeling safe in her own body. Within months, the mirror responded, not with a fantasy, but with a partner who met her with the same grounded presence she had finally given herself. Love came when she no longer needed it to fill a wound, when her inner state broadcasted wholeness. Then there was a man, ambitious and restless, who had been forcing his career for years. Hustle, late nights, networking, chasing every opportunity with a frantic edge. He kept saying, I'm manifesting success, but his body was always in fight or flight. Deals slipped through, jobs vanished, doors stayed closed. Until one day, he hit burnout so deep he could no longer push. Out of necessity, he surrendered. He began walking daily without his phone, breathing slowly, letting silence heal the static inside him. The surprising part? Once he aligned his nervous system with calm, opportunities began chasing him. Projects flowed in, collaborations arose naturally, and his dream role appeared without force. Success did not arrive through effort, but through coherence. And then, perhaps most moving, the story of someone who had battled chronic illness. For years, she had tried to manifest healing by fighting her body, demanding health, visualizing cures, affirming I am well, while secretly fearing her body had betrayed her. The turning point came when she shifted from control to compassion. She stopped demanding her body change and instead began loving it as it was. Gentle breath work, soothing self-talk, allowing herself to cry, to grieve, to be held. Within months, her symptoms softened. Her health began to stabilize. It wasn't magic in the sense of instant cure. It was magic in the sense that her mirror began reflecting the love she gave herself. Her body responded to safety, not pressure. Do you notice the pattern? None of these people forced reality into submission. They shifted who they were being. They stopped broas, decasting fear, scarcity, and desperation. They softened into coherence. And the mirror, as it always does, simply reflected back the frequency they had become. What about you? Where in your life have you been trying to force a result, believing that if you just worked harder, thought harder, controlled harder, things would finally change? And what would happen if instead of gripping tighter, you softened? If instead of commanding, you began listening? The truth is, the mirror is always faithful. It doesn't fail us. It only shows us the frequency we are living from. The woman's longing for love kept reflecting abandonment, until her wholeness reflected true intimacy. The man's desperate chase for success kept reflecting closed doors, until his calm coherence opened pathways. The woman's fight against illness kept reflecting resistance, until her compassion reflected healing. These stories are not outliers. They are the natural result of coherence. And when you see them, you begin to realize your life is not waiting on luck, timing, or external approval. Your life is waiting on you. There is a question more powerful than any affirmation, more magnetic than any vision board, more transformative than any external effort. The question is this: who are you being right now? This is the true axis of manifestation. Not what you want, not what you're asking for, not even what you're visualizing. The mirror doesn't respond to your wish list. It reflects your being, your identity, your state. Pause for a moment and feel into this. If your reality is a mirror, then every reflection you see is an echo of who you are in this moment. That means the job you attract, the relationships that surround you, the money that flows or stalls, the health you feel in your body, all of it is responding to the frequency of your beingness, not your effort, not your pretending, but the truth you live in. Think about it. Have you ever tried to convince yourself that you were confident, repeating the words, "I am confident," in your mind, while your body felt tense, your stomach tight, your breath shallow? Did the world respond to the words or to the tension? Always the tension, because the mirror doesn't listen to surface language. It listens to coherence, the harmony between thought, feeling, and embodiment. So ask yourself honestly, who am I being right now? Am I being the one who is still waiting, still hoping, still chasing? Or am I being the one who has already arrived, the one who breathes easily because they know the mirror cannot lie? Imagine you already were the version of yourself who has what you desire. How would you walk? How would you speak? What decisions would you make differently? How would you breathe as you woke up in the morning? You see, it's not about faking it or forcing it. It's about gently inhabiting the energy of the future self that already exists. When you choose to embody that version now, reality has no choice but to reflect it. Here's the paradox. The more you try to get there, the further it feels. But the moment you step into being there now, the mirror confirms it. This is why waiting is the enemy of becoming. When you wait, you broadcast lack. When you are, you broadcast coherence. Take a breath with me. Inhale deeply. Exhale slowly. Feel the ground under you. Feel the pulse of life in your body. Right now, you are not lacking. Right now, you are not behind. Right now, you are whole, breathing, alive. This beingness, is already magnetic. And this is where the real shift happens. Manifestation stops being about chasing outcomes, and it becomes about choosing identity. Not, what do I want, but who am I willing to be? So I'll ask you directly, who are you being now? Are you being the seeker, always hungry, never arriving? Or are you being the one who knows that life already reflects them? Are you being the fearful one, braced for disappointment? Or are you being the one who trusts the mirror to follow their coherence? The mirror is neutral. It doesn't punish. It doesn't delay out of cruelty. It simply reflects who you are being, faithfully, moment to moment. That is both the most humbling and the most liberating truth. Because it means you are never powerless. You don't have to wait for permission, timing, or luck. You only need to shift your beingness, your state, and the mirror shifts with you. So as we move forward, let this question guide you more than any affirmation ever has. Who am I being right now? Because the moment you choose, the mirror responds. Not someday, not eventually, but instantly. The reflection begins the moment you change. If your reality is a mirror, and that mirror reflects who you are being, then the next natural question is, how do you consciously reprogram your state, day by day? How do you stop falling into the old broadcast of fear, scarcity, and doubt, and instead sustain the frequency of coherence? The answer is not grand or complicated. It is subtle, gentle, daily. Think of your state like the tuning of a violin. Even the finest instrument drifts out of alignment if it's not adjusted. Your being is the same. Each day, the nervous system, the subconscious, the body's memory may tilt you back towards survival mode. That's not failure. That's simply life asking you to tune again. And reprogramming your state is the art of daily tuning. It begins with breath. The breath is always your reset button. A deep inhale through the nose, a slow exhale through the mouth, repeated until your shoulders drop, your chest softens, and your belly loosens. Every time you choose this, you send a signal. I am safe. And safety is the foundation of coherence. Next comes awareness of posture and movement. Notice the difference between walking quickly, shoulders hunched, eyes darting, versus walking with a steady open chest, as though you already belong wherever you are. The body teaches the subconscious more powerfully than words. If you walk like the future you, the subconscious begins to accept that identity as normal. Another tool, visualization not as daydream, but as embodiment rehearsal. Instead of merely imagining outcomes, imagine yourself in the act of being that person. Not just the picture of wealth, but how wealth you feels when they wake up, how they sit at a table, how they answer a question. Not just the picture of love, but how loved you softens into touch, how they smile with ease, how they listen without fear. You are rehearsing identity, not chasing fantasy. Daily rituals help anchor this shift. Perhaps it's beginning the day with one word you choose to embody: ease, trust, abundance. Perhaps it's a nightly reflection. Who was I being today? Did I live from fear, or did I live from coherence? The mirror responds to these small calibrations. Over time, your daily choices accumulate into an unshakable frequency. Nutrition, environment, even the spaces you inhabit also matter. Chaos in your surroundings mirrors chaos within. Simplify your space. Add symbols of the self you are becoming. A candle lit with presence. A journal that holds your reflections. A playlist that reminds your body of calm. These are not trivial. They are cues to your subconscious, nudging it toward coherence again and again. Remember this: you do not need to reprogram everything at once. You only need to interrupt the old broadcast moment by moment. Each time you pause, breathe, adjust posture, soften into coherence, you shift the signal. The mirror doesn't need perfection. It responds faithfully even to small shifts in beingness. So let go of the idea that you must control every thought or suppress every doubt. The point is not perfection, but direction. If you are gently tuning your state, the music of your life grows clearer, the reflex. Diction grows sharper. Reality aligns not because you demanded it, but because you became the one who naturally lives it. Reprogramming your daily state is the art of remembering. Remembering to pause. Remembering to breathe. Remembering that who you are being now is what the mirror will show you next. And so, each morning you rise with the chance to choose. Not just what you want to do, but who you will be as you do it. And that choice, repeated daily, rewrites the reflection entirely. There is a quiet paradox on this path. The more you try to control reality, the more it slips through your fingers. The more you grip, the more the mirror grows cloudy. This is the control trap. The unconscious belief that if you just push harder, watch closer, and monitor every outcome, the universe will finally deliver. But control is born from fear, and fear is static. When you're afraid the outcome won't arrive, you micromanage. You check your bank account 10 times a day. You analyze their text messages over and over. You stare at the vision board until your eyes blur, hoping it will force something into being. Yet what does the mirror reflect? Not trust, not arrival, but desperation. Control whispers, if I don't do it, it won't happen. But coherence whispers something softer. The moment I align, it already has. You see, the mirror is faithful but neutral. It does not bend to your micromanaging. It bends to your state. And when your state is one of grasping, chasing, bracing for disappointment, reality has no choice but to echo it back. This is why so many seekers feel stuck. They are not blocked by the universe, but by their own need to control it. Think of holding sand in your palm. The tighter you squeeze, the more it slips out between your fingers. But when you relax your hand, the sand settles gently, naturally. The same is true of your desires. The more you squeeze, the more they scatter. The more you soften, the more they stay. This doesn't mean giving up on intention. It means releasing the nervous grip around outcomes. It means choosing to become the version of yourself who is safe enough, whole enough, coherent enough to trust the unfolding. Trust doesn't mean passivity. It means aligned action without obsession. It means knowing the mirror reflects you, not punishes you. The control trap is seductive because it gives the illusion of power. But real power is not in control. It is in coherence. Real power is the ability to hold your frequency steady, regardless of what the surface reflection shows in this moment. Because you know the mirror lags slightly. You know the reflection always catches up. So take a breath. Loosen your grip. Release the frantic monitoring. Ask yourself gently, am I broadcasting trust, or am I broadcasting fear? This awareness alone is enough to shift your state. When you let go of control, something miraculous happens. Reality feels lighter. The mirror clears. And suddenly, outcomes that once seemed stubborn begin to flow, not because you forced them, but because you stopped blocking them with your own tension. This is the invitation. Step out of the trap, trust the reflection, and remember, you don't manifest by controlling the mirror. You manifest by becoming the reflection you wish to see.